Welcome to a special edition of Business Mentorship Keepin It Real, where we are collaborating with the Enthuse Foundation, who supports female entrepreneurs through education, mentorship, and grant funding. Today, our guest is one of the finalists in the 2023 pitch competition. Ashley Sankar is the founder and CEO for 1920, a company that has developed a unique convertible jacket, the Win Pro. We're going to share her journey into entrepreneurship and how she has created a business out of her passion for fashion and travel. First of all, congratulations, Ashley, on becoming a finalist in this year's Enthuse Foundation pitch competition.
Thank you so much. Super exciting and awesome to be a part of this.
Well, why don't we start with your great idea and why you developed the jacket?
Most definitely. So me, myself, I travel all the time. I work, I'm always on the go. And so I find myself carrying a lot of things in my hand. When I travel, my bags would always be overweight, and I'm trying to find a way to really get my life together. And so I developed this coat that turns into a tote bag, and it also turns into a pillow and a blanket whenever we leverage different materials. And that gives you versatility. It helps you feel like you're more put together, and you're not always arriving places with a lot of things in your hand and feeling like you're unorganized. And that's how I actually came up with this idea.
So when did you actually go to market? Because I mean, business innovation and getting a product from your concept to marketplace is quite a journey. So give our viewing and listening audience a little bit of an idea as to how did you go to market?
Most definitely. So myself, I've always been interested in entrepreneurship. I've come up with a couple ideas in the past, but I never felt like anything made enough of an impact to bring it to market. I feel like there's a lot of things in the market, and I wanted something that made an impact. And so we actually started our business back in 2018. However, we did not start selling until 2022, the end of last year. I did a lot of prep work. I applied for my utility patent. We had that issued. We did a couple of road shows. And then we decided, just in 2 short months after we did our first exposure to actual people, hey, we think people actually like this product. They need this product. We got a lot of good feedback. And so we've only been in business just short of 9 to 10 months now.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Now, I love the idea that you went to market. You sort of did some product testing with your consumer base. But tell us a little bit about getting the utility patent, because that's a whole other kettle of fish when we start, is it an international patent?
Yes.
Okay.
So our first parent patent is issued by the WPO, which is the World Patent Organization. And myself, I do not come from fashion, right? I actually kind of have a STEM background, have always been in the corporate world, but I do understand how important it is that when you have an idea to protect it. And so I was very strategic on not showing my product to anyone. I worked on it and worked with my supplier for about 2 years, prototyping it, and never showed it to anyone, which is really difficult in today's day and age of social media where you want to show. But that can put your patent in jeopardy, because when they go through that process, if they find that it exists, you will not be awarded that patent. But I do not have yes, exactly.
Wow.
But I do not have a background in anything patent law. But I am really good at research. And so I leveraged some third-party platforms to find lawyers to actually help me get my patent. And I was able to save a good amount of money through actually doing that.
Tenacity, having some tenacity to figure it out, right?
Yes, most definitely.
So I know that you've mentioned that you didn't have a background in fashion, but I know you have a passion for fashion. So,
Yes.
for those in our viewing and listening audience who are sitting there thinking, well, like, how did you go from being a corporate leader into an entrepreneur? So give us a little bit of an idea as to your bio. How did you get to where you are now with this wonderful idea?
Yeah, most definitely. So my background is in supply chain and logistics, and the bulk of my experience was with the United States Army. I was an Army logistics officer for 9 years.
Wow.
Yes. So you
Wow.
were, so you would say, so what fashion does she know? She wore a uniform for 9 years. That is correct. But a girl can dream, right? A girl can dream.
Hey, listen, you
Um,
have to have the fashion after work.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And so I knew what it was to build something and to execute. That's what I knew how to do. And I have this passion for fashion. I love all sorts of styles. I'm very creative. Um, and that was kind of a part of my decision to branch outside of the military and see what I would really be able to do. And so I would say, if you have that tenacity, like you mentioned, and you do have an idea and you're able to be bold, don't be afraid of not having that background. There's so much information out today that it's definitely possible.
You know what I loved is you referenced that this is not your first great idea. And you know what I think is really important for people to understand is it's okay to fail, right?
Yes, yes, most definitely.
So, what do you think in your personality gave you the confidence to continue trying something new? And what was it about the jacket that you said, this is the one? This is the one I'm going to invest my time and my money in to take it to market?
Yes, most definitely. And so I think the military definitely prepared me for that. We do a lot of training. You do one test, you fail it, you do it again. You do one test, you fail it, you do it again. And there's a lot of repetition. Also my background. Growing up, my father, he did not accept failure, right? You didn't do something right, you go back and you do it again. And so I'm never afraid to repeat something. But I thought about this idea and I thought, does something like this exist in the market? What is the use case for it? Can this be scaled at 10x? And is this something that I can protect? Because if it's something that already exists and I want to come in and build on what someone else has done, I'm not sure that that makes the most sense to invest in it. But because I was able to take advantage of speed to market, this idea, along with the interactions that we got, were excellent.
Well, one of the things that you've been able to do quite incredibly, because I took a look at some of your online social media platforms, and boy, girlfriend, do you have a following? I mean, you've really been able to create a buzz out in the industry. So now, most of that, from what I understand, has been done without any paid marketing or paid advertising. So, for those who are sitting there thinking, oh, yeah, sure, she's had all kinds of financing and funding, and she's been able to do this with all kinds of help and support. Now, give us a little bit of insight into how you were able to market and create all of those passionate followers on your various social platforms.
Most definitely. So what I'll say starting out in the beginning, I when I first started, I was working with my sister, and I was able to leverage her viewpoint of some of these new social platforms, right? When we look at some of them, it's almost like certain demographics live on different markets. And to start, I was not really into social media. I was on there, but I didn't know how to leverage it. And so, thanks to my sister, I was able to really learn, okay, hey, this is how you market. This is how you create videos, and you just post on a consistent basis. Our first time posting, we went viral. We posted a very simple, quick, to the point clip that showed this jacket being transformed in our biggest market where all of our customers actually come from, which is New York City. Even though we have customers all over the world, and it went viral. That video has 70 million views to this day.
Whoa!
70 million views, and we just skyrocketed with that. And I've had a lot of viral success since. So we have really leveraged people and just connecting on these platforms without ads. I don't have anyone on my team yet that knows how to run ads. And I feel like without that expertise, it's almost like gambling in a way, where you don't really know what the outcome is going to be, but you can post on social media for free and you can get free feedback from customers.
So what do you attribute the going viral? I mean, 70 million views is a significant number of people that actually what platform did you use in order to get those views?
So, across between Instagram and TikTok, Instagram got 70 million views, 2.5 million likes, and people are still liking the video to this day.
Wow.
And then on TikTok, the video got 6.6 million views and 1 million likes. And
wow.
Yes, exactly.
That's unbelievable. Seriously unbelievable. What do you
Thank
attribute
you.
that success to? I mean, what was it about the video that you think attracted over 70 million viewers?
So we believe what attracted this many viewers is A, this is something they've never seen before, and B, it was something that they could see themselves actually using in their everyday life and
Yeah.
being able to really get value out of it.
Mhm.
And it was the time of a perfect storm. We had a puffer coat that converted into a tote bag. Someone was in New York where you walk all the time. It was cold, and it was a product that no one had ever seen before, which is the perfect storm.
Wow. Well, congratulations to you and your sister with, very little marketing experience, being able to come up with something that actually got you that much attention is really quite incredible. So, kudos to you for, I mean, seriously, I would say don't get a marketing team at this point. I mean, you guys are doing great on your own. Um, so that's really a feat and an accomplishment in itself. Now, tell me a little bit about your team because we know that in North America, 80% of the new business is coming from entrepreneurs with less than 5 employees. So I'm sure you fit within that category. So give us a little bit of background into your team. Who's supporting you behind the scenes?
Yeah, most definitely. So, currently, it is just myself and
Mhm.
my husband. My sister would work with us from time to time, and that's it. I do leverage a lot of freelancers on platforms like Fiverr and Upwork. That's where the bulk of my team comes from building my website, graphic design, SEO, everything that I need done. I contracted out just because we wanted to really focus on building the foundation of the business before coming in and hiring a bunch of people and not knowing how it would go and then potentially having to let them go.
Yeah, that's a really wonderful way it's collaboration, right? I mean, you can't do
Yes,
it alone. You've got to leverage the people who know what you don't know. And there are a lot of really wonderful platforms available for you to tap into. And you've mentioned a few. So that's a really wonderful way to gain that experience without having to sort of relearn or reinvent the wheel, right?
most definitely.
Now, have you ever had a mentor? Was there someone that you connected with along the way that you shared a little bit of the specifics of what you were doing that gave you some of the confidence and the insight into the journey that you were getting yourself in for?
You know what? If I did, I probably wouldn't have did it. But
Trial
no,
and error is sometimes best, right?
100%. The
Yeah.
less you know, the less you fear.
Yes.
And so what I would say is no, right? As of recent, we have brought on through some connections that we met an advisor, but we did not have one. And I would say that is something that, looking back, I would have engaged sooner. I wouldn't have
Okay.
waited until, hey, okay, what's next? What's next? Or, now we're trying to grow, we're trying to scale. How can we, start to fundraise and things like these are things I don't have any experience with. So it was a lot of trial and error. It was a lot of research that I had to do. And it was a lot of learning on the job, and unfortunately.
That's not a bad thing, right? I mean, because I
Right.
loved your reference to sometimes it's better not to know because then you don't have the fear.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
Because fear stops
Exactly.
us in our tracks, right? I mean, nobody wants to fail. So,
No,
especially when you're putting a lot of time, energy, expertise, and money into a startup, the last thing that you want to do is, I mean, no one starts to fail, but you have to be able to pivot and make the changes along the way based on the feedback that you're getting. So, in terms
exactly.
of that amazing video that you had, where you had all those likes and comments, has there been one particular way in which you've been able to connect with your target market where you got direct feedback on the product?
So that video, we got a lot of feedback, and a
Okay.
lot of the videos that we post, we do. As of recent, I went viral on YouTube. We hit 13 million. Got a lot of feedback there. We hit a million last week. Got feedback on that. We get a lot of feedback, and that's what's so good about building a community online
Right.
is you're able to get real feedback. If you have a small platform and you just run ads, you're not going to get real feedback on, hey, can you add this? Can you add that? And so, because we have such interactive customers and they're very supportive, we have now, with our new jacket that's coming out from last year, we've improved it by 150%, right? And that
Wow.
was, yes, that was just because we wanted to give our customers a
What they were
good
asking
product.
for. Yeah. And
Yes,
give them what they're
exactly.
asking for. I mean, if they're making a commitment to you by providing their feedback, kudos to you for taking that feedback and actually implementing it into the product, because that only means that it's going to be better. You're going to sell more, your exposure is going to grow. And before you know it, you're going to have a large team helping you to support all these efforts because of the numbers that you're being able to ship, right?
Exactly. And you're able to maintain your customers' trust.
Right. Right, which is hugely important, especially in a short period of time.
Yes.
Now, how did you hear about the Enthuse Foundation? Because clearly you're going to be going to New York City in a few weeks and you're going to be presenting your pitch on your great idea. How did you even hear about them and their grant opportunities?
Yeah, most definitely. So I heard about it on a website called Gust. And I actually was getting emails all the time saying, "Hey, here's an opportunity. If you fall in these categories, you can apply for this." And one day I just came across the opportunity for Enthuse, and I had just a small time frame to apply. Um, and one thing that they don't tell you about, when starting a business is how many no's you're gonna hear,
Oh, yeah.
Um, I'm
Oh,
used to
yeah.
in live hearing no's, but I'm like, come on, like we have all this, people love the product. So I applied, not really having any hopes of getting selected. I'm just like, okay, we'll see.
Nothing
And
ventured,
so,
nothing gained, right?
yeah. Yes. And so when I got the call, I was like, "Is this spam?" I had no idea, but when I read through about Enthuse, I knew it was an excellent opportunity. New York is basically our home for the product, and so we are just super excited to be getting to compete.
Oh, I bet. And you know what? I mean, I'm sure you feel like you've won already, right? Like
Yes.
just the exposure that you're getting and the connections that you'll be able to make through the Enthuse Foundation and the folks that are supporting them is going to be worth its weight in gold when you think about it, right? I
Yes,
mean, to
most
be able to
definitely.
connect with like-minded entrepreneurs and to be able to share not only your great idea, but the experience of being a small business owner is, I guess that's where the education and the mentorship comes in, right? Being able to
M
share is really very important.
Most definitely.
Now, one of the things that we ask folks to do is in our guest blog. So we have a platform where we share stories from business leaders internationally. Is we ask folks to share 3 words of advice. And for those who are in our viewing and listening audience and who are maybe thinking about starting a business or are taking their company to the next level, what would your 3 words of advice be?
Yeah, most definitely. So I would say in order to be successful in business, you need to be okay with going at it alone. And that doesn't mean doing everything by yourself. There's a difference between going forward alone and doing everything by yourself.
Mhm.
When you say something about going forward alone, that means, you know what, even if I don't have my current support system around me, I'm still going to go forward. Even if my parents don't support me, my best friend doesn't support me, my job doesn't support me, I am going to go forward and I am still going to try to make this happen. Now, when you say you don't have to do it by yourself, that means, you know what, if you don't have the support and the backing of your friends and your family, who can support you? There are people that will support you. That's one thing that we have found is our followers online have been so supportive, and these people do not even know me. They have been our cheerleaders from day one, and when people see a product that they like and they see you behind that product, they believe in you, and that really can be fuel to keep you going. And so I would say be okay with doing things alone. I know a lot of people sometimes start businesses with friends. Maybe they even, started out with family. And sometimes people, life gets busy, they maybe lose interest. A lot of people burn out, but you have to be sure about it and be okay going at it alone, knowing that there are other people that will help you. They may just not be the same people that you started the process off with.
That's a really good point because there's a lot of change that happens in the first 3 to 5 years of any business, right? And so,
Yes.
to your point, who started on the journey with you at the very beginning, you may have got all that you needed to learn from them, and then they move on to something else, and someone else will come into the fold to help you out. So, that's really great advice. Now, I would like for you to share with our viewing and listening audience how folks connect with you. I mean, I'm sure everybody who's listening is saying, hey, I want to get involved in this opportunity to provide feedback. And so, how many platforms are you on, and how do folks connect with you?
Yeah, most definitely. So we are on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and when you get on our website as well, you can find us. You can email us. Our Instagram platform is Hey1920. And it's like Hey Hey. But the name of the business is 1920. And we welcome all sorts of comments, feedbacks. We answer all of our DMs. That's one thing that people be like, this company is amazing. I literally just DM'd them something and said, hey, are you coming out with a new coat this year? And we just tell them, yes, we are. So we're very open to feedback. We love even constructive criticism. We welcome it all. And so feel free to connect with us on any of those platforms, email or DM, and we'd love to hear from you.
Well, one of the things that we'll do, Ashley, is we'll send in the description portion below on both the video file and the audio podcast. We'll ensure to include all of your contact information. So those folks who are listening to us and our discussion and want to connect with you can certainly do that. And we'll make it really convenient for them.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I really want to thank you for spending some time with us because it's what the Enthuse Foundation is doing is really wonderful for startups and for women in business. And I know that you've really taken a leap of faith to step outside your comfort zone and pursue something that you really feel very solid and positive about. And I mean, the success that you've had so far just speaks to your concept and the fact that growing your business and becoming more successful through time is something that you're definitely going to enjoy. So we certainly wish you all the best, and certainly with the competition, of course, but just in business in general. I can tell the passion that you have comes through in the way that you speak about what you're doing, and we certainly wish you all the best.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me on.
Oh, our absolute pleasure. And to you, our viewing and listening audience, I'd like to thank you for joining us today for this special edition of Keeping It Real, with a behind-the-scenes look into business ownership and breaking barriers to success. I'm Trish Tonai, founder and host for the series, and I'd like to extend a special thank you to the team at the Enthuse Foundation for all the work they do to support business innovation and the journey to success. You may visit them on their website, and their contact information will also be found in the description portion below. This special edition is a great example of our mission for collaboration over competition. And I'd like to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Business Mentorship Keeping It Real, and visit our website, shareyourstories.online, where we feature business stories from international entrepreneurs and enterprise leaders while celebrating their great ideas. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time for another edition of Keeping It Real.